In celebration of its 40th anniversary, Star Trek the Motion Picture has returned to theaters for 2 days from Fathom Events. I got a chance to check it out, and it's my first time seeing the movie in theaters. It's also my first time watching the theatrical cut of the film, which is the version that Fathom showed. Star Trek the Motion Picture reunites the crew of the Enterprise as they intercept a powerful and mysterious cloud on a direct course for Earth. For those unaware, there are currently 3 different versions of the movie. The theatrical cut, the extended VHS version, released in 1983, called the Special Longer Version, and the Director's Edition, released in 2001 on DVD. The theatrical cut is the shortest version, the VHS version is the longest, and the Director's Edition is in between. Star Trek the Motion Picture went through a tortured production history, and director Robert Wise was never happy with the final version. Thankfully, in 2001, he was able to recut the film, add in some new effect shots, and tweak others. The soundtrack was also rehauled, and the film, which director Robert Wise always viewed as incomplete, was finally finished. The Director's Edition is the version I have watched regularly for the last 18 years. I had never actually watched the theatrical version before, which is notorious for missing many important character scenes. So how did the movie hold up on the big screen? Well, first off, on my way to the theater, I hit a traffic snag and ended up being a few minutes late to the screening. So my theater had no posters of the film up, and the young lady working the ticket counter didn't even know Star Trek the Motion Picture was playing there. She also kinda tore my ticket stub a little bit. Counting myself, there were 7 people in the theater. Not bad considering the lack of promotion. Thankfully, I did not miss any of the movie itself, only a few minutes of the 11-minute documentary that preceded the film. Called The Longest Trek, Writing the Motion Picture, this excellent little documentary goes over the production difficulties of the movie and includes some insightful interviews. It's actually included on the Blu-ray release of Star Trek the Motion Picture, so I had thankfully seen it before. As for the film itself, presentation-wise, it was great. The picture and sound were terrific, although the image did look a tad washed out to me, but by no means was the picture bad. Overall, it looked and sounded great. I have a weird obsession with this film. I've always loved it, even as a kid. It's the only one of the original Star Trek films that feels truly epic. I love Kirk's obsession with getting the Enterprise back, and his scenes with Commander Decker are fantastic. Kirk, and especially Spock, have wonderful character arcs in this movie, and the entire cast does a fantastic job. The musical score by Jerry Goldsmith is amazing, as are the excellent special effects. Star Trek the Motion Picture is a film that really needs to be experienced on the big screen, and I'm so happy I was able to do that. As I said, this was my first viewing of the theatrical cut, and the amount of scenes missing was kind of shocking. Important character moments from the entire cast were gone, as well as some scenes of tension, like Kirk ordering the destruction of the Enterprise during the 3rd act. But most egregious of all was the missing scene on the bridge where Spock cries. The most important Spock scene in the film, the one that wraps up his character arc, is missing from this version. Unbelievable. And that's the biggest problem I had with the theatrical version. The character interplay and warmth is almost entirely gone. But even in this compromised version, the film still holds up pretty well. It definitely has some pacing issues, especially in the second half, but overall it's a solid movie. But it is a shame that the Director's Edition wasn't the version released during this Fathom event. Star Trek the Motion Picture is a flawed film, regardless of the version, but the Director's Edition is the way to go. The character stuff is there, and the pacing is much better. The extra little effect shots adds tension and excitement. The Director's Edition takes a good film and makes it great. Regardless of which version you see, Star Trek the Motion Picture is a terrific film. Sure, it has some pacing issues and flaws, but the good far outweigh the bad. This is an epic Star Trek film, absolutely worthy of the original crew. And honestly, I can't wait to watch it again.